Good evening and welcome to the Celina Board of Education meeting for Monday, August 17th, 2020. This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not considered a public community meeting. There is time for public participation during the meeting as indicated in the agenda. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please join me. Pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Simon, roll call, please.
Mr. Sell.
Here.
Mrs. Gingrich.
Here.
Mr. Huber.
Yes, here.
Mr. Flack.
Here.
Mrs. Voorhees.
Here.
All five of us are here. Entertain a motion to set the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Is that seconded by Mr. Voorhees? Roll call, please.
Mr. Huber.
Yes.
Mrs. Voorhees.
Yes.
Mrs. Gingrich.
Aye.
Mr. Flack.
Yes.
Mr. Sell.
Yes. Reception of the public, I do not see Mrs. Henderson or anyone here. I don't think the OC, but I do. Our CEA presidents, school presidents are here, and what's going on?
And we'd just like to thank you guys for communicating with us. We've had lots of meetings with Dr. Ken and Tom and including you, Bill. We've reached out to you guys, so we appreciate it. We are very excited to see our kids back in the classroom, hopefully, with the masks and safety things. Hand sanitizers arrived, so that is awesome. So we are very excited to get them back into our classrooms. We're anxious to see all of our coworkers. We also appreciate you guys extending the delay of start by a week. That gives us ample time to prepare all of our technology pieces that we've been learning, being able to make contact with students. I know in my building we are going to have kids come in at 20-minute increments at CIS, and then they can at least meet their homeroom teacher, get the iPads in their hand. Those who are doing remote learning will be ready for that. So we're very anxious to see them, and we'll use that time effectively. So thank you very much.
We know this has not been easy on anyone.
So we have to work together.
That's right.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Quick question for Dr. Ken or whomever on this. I saw that there were going to be, the students were going to be incrementally brought into the school. How is that working with the bus schedule? Are the buses going to arrive?
No, what Andy was talking about at CIS is to meet their teacher to come to school before school begins.
Okay, gotcha.
CIS is having them come every 20 minutes,
Okay.
a different
So
family.
like different buildings are doing different
Before
things.
school starts.
Yeah, normally we did the Wednesday before school, we would do a 4-hour window where parents could come and do the lockers and meet their teachers and stuff. This year, we're just gonna do 20-minute increments where they can meet just their homeroom teacher so they know where they're going on that first day.
Gotcha.
It was kind of a shock to all students just to be, sent home on March 16th and never return. So give them some kind of a feel-good place that this is where they're to be. I know the middle school is doing some kind of registration. The high school's doing stuff, so getting them back acclimated with the school year. So.
Good.
Tristar's put out their schedule for students to come in, the juniors, to meet their teachers as well. So that's a piece as well that they'll separate those times out.
Okay.
Mrs. Duncan's working that for the kindergartner parents also.
Very good. Approval of the consensus agenda.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Mrs. Gingrich, seconded by Mr. Huber. Mr. Summer.
Okay, I'm asking you to approve the minutes of the July 20th regular meeting, the July 23rd, August 4th, and August 11th special meetings. I'm asking you to approve the July 2020 financial report showing revenues of just over $8.3 million and expenditures of about $3.9 million. The revenues are very high in July because that's the month we get a lot of tax settlements from the county. So they'll start dropping from these months going forward. Approve the investment control report for July of 2020 and the balance of July 31st, 2020. And this is all funds of the district is $14.69 million. Item 4, approve the SM2 report for July 2020. Item 5 is approve the checks written for July 2020 at $3.46 million. Item 6 is just to approve the permanent appropriations for fiscal year 2021. Back in June, I had you approve temporary. Since then, we've received the estimated resources from the county, so this is now making permanent appropriations for the year. Item 7 is to approve the closeout of the Tristar Ag Mechanics student activity account into the Tristar Vet Tech student activity account. This is just a consolidation of the two. Last year there were 2 supplementals paid to each of the teachers. They're so closely intertwined that this year they're combining it and will only pay 1 supplemental, but it's being split between the 2 teachers. And then item 8 is to approve the student activity budgets for the 2020-2021 school year.
Dr. Ken?
The Assistant Superintendent's reports, we're asking you to approve the following substitutes. There are 47 listed. Items 2 through 6, we're asking you to accept resignations. Vicki Goff as cafeteria worker, Linda Smith, cafeteria worker, Diane Pranger as a teacher assistant, Joelle Curiel, bus aide for Head Start, and Terry Smith, educational aide at the primary. Item 7, approve a $1,000 stipend to Brenda Dorner for the work associated with the publication of the 2020-2021 school year calendar. Number 8, approve the following Head Start personnel for summer transition, Carol Schmiel and Kelly Whitaker. Under the resolution, approve the 2020-2021 bus routes. Those have been updated on the Celina Schools website.
Slip any addendum items there, Ken?
I appreciate that, Carl. Thank you. The white page. Items 9 and 10, both accepting resignation of Tori Johnson and Mackenzie Sawmiller. One is a teacher assistant at the high school, and Mackenzie, teacher at Head Start.
Superintendent's report.
The first item there is asking you to approve the teacher substitutes for the 2021 school year for Celina. That would be 68 individuals. So take note that that number is smaller than past year's numbers.
What's our total for teaching substitutes?
68.
This is it.
Correct.
What were we a year ago?
Well, across the county, it was over 200. And this year, it's down to about 108 countywide.
How does someone go about becoming a substitute, Dr. Ken?
Make contact. We do that through the Mercer County ESC. So they just need to go up and show up over there, fill out an application. Anyone with a bachelor's degree can be a substitute teacher.
What's it paying per day right now?
At Celina, we start off at $90 for the first 10 days, $100 after that. If they're certified in the area, after 20 days, they go on the base 0 salary. So that's close to $190 a day.
With so few substitutes, what have the principals and yourself talked about as far as contingency when there are no subs available? What do we do?
This is a unique year across the state that as long as somebody has a license, they are licensed to teach. in any class, so they can cover any material. So,
So somebody that's a phys ed teacher can cover in chemistry if need be.
correct. And if a teacher is out, they might be going into quarantine, even though they're not ill, so they may be able to teach from their home, and we could have a teacher assistant in the classroom supervising the students who are learning, getting information from the teacher who's at home as a possibility.
So, one more time, these 68 that we're approving here, are these county-wide subs then?
They get to choose which school they want to sub for. So of the 108, 68 of them have marked down that they are willing to sub in Celina.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Number 2, we're asking you to approve a 1-year contract for Aaron Schmidt as our welding teacher at Tristar. Number 3, asking you to accept the resignation of intervention specialist Sarah Van Tilburg. And then we have 2 individuals that we're asking you to approve pupil activity program contracts. They're sharing the JV soccer coach. That's Emily Braun and Kent Wicker. Then we're asking you to approve 1-year extended service contracts. These are Tristar individuals with their extended days listed. Aaron Schmidt at the bottom is the welding teacher we're asking you to approve. Number 6, then, we're asking you to approve the supplemental contracts for those Tristar teachers who would be teaching those different activities. Item number 7 is asking you to approve the following list of athletic workers as needed.
What is actually, can you define what an athletic worker is? I wouldn't know how to fill that. in.
Individuals who work the gate, take tickets at games, videotape.
Okay, so what it sounds like then.
Yep.
I've got a question with that also, Dr. Ken. So if we have an amended attendance requirement or limitation at football games, I would imagine that's going to affect the athletic budget quite a bit.
Yes, it would.
And do we know by how much?
We haven't seen the regulation yet as far as what limited attendance will mean.
Okay.
So after we get that information, then we can look at that in greater detail.
At this point, it's still 6 games with family members in attendance only? Was the-
6 games, I haven't seen any regulations on who can attend.
It's supposed to come out tomorrow, Bill, but
Yeah, I saw that in print, but who knows?
we'll see what comes out.
Under resolutions, we have 1 resolution there to approve the remote learning plan. We worked with the DLT administrators and teachers. Annie and Tressie were part of that plan. We worked with our BLT at the schools. This has been left general rather than specific, so it does allow for differences at the various buildings. That needs to be approved and submitted to the Ohio Department of Education by this Friday. We're asking you to accept a couple donations. First, a 2002 Chevy Cavalier to Tristar. That donation is from Kelly and Rob Ontrup of Coldwater, Ohio. The value $1,050. And we'd also like you to accept the donation of face shields that PAX Machine Works has donated to Celina City Schools.
Quick question, Dr. Schmeezing. Do we have to have this remote learning plan approved by the ODE before school starts?
Just submit it. Approved by the board and submitted to ODE.
And that's only in the eventuality that we had to go online. They just want to know what each district is doing. Is that the rationale?
That is correct. That covers our online instruction. The Head Start report is under attachment number 3. piece of that we pulled out, there's a request for the approval of the submission of the continuation grant that goes from December 1st of 2020 to November 30th of 2021. That's of the project planning period, December 2019 through November 2024. This application asks for continuation of Head Start services for Mercer County, and our Head Start does serve 158 children. Just over 1.9 million is designated for Head Start operations. Just over 19,000 is designated for training and technical services. This request includes a waiver for a non-federal match for program year 2020-2021. And we're also asking for approval of the Mercer County Head Start Family Handbook. That was attachment number 4.
Any items to be removed from the consensus agenda?
No, I do have one more question. Did we receive for our remote learning plan, did we receive all our equipment, tablets, computers for our one-to-one ratio?
We have those yet left from last year,
Okay.
so we still have those in-house.
So we do meet our,
We have more ordered in, and those haven't arrived. The date for those to come in is now closer to the end of September rather than November.
okay.
That's good.
So when those come in, we can trade out the old ones for the new ones.
But everyone will have one at the start of the year, it's just whether it be a new one
Yeah.
or an old one.
Yep.
How many new ones were ordered?
Is it 3 classes?
I don't remember.
I think it was 700. 700.
So that would cover at least 3 of the classrooms.
Sounds like-
3 grade levels, excuse me, instead of classrooms.
And we're still on schedule to receive the rest of our PPE before the school year begins.
Correct.
Okay.
So there's nothing to remove from the consensus agenda?
I need to remove Jill Harris from the personnel section and abstain on that particular one.
Good, good.
Well, I'm sorry, where was that?
Personnel C,
C, item 1.
yes, item 1, Jill Harris. I'll abstain on her.
Yeah. Anything else? So, Mr. Summer, we're ready for the approval of the remaining consensus agenda items.
Mrs. Gingrich.
Aye.
Mr. Huber.
Yes.
Mrs. Voorhees.
Yes.
Mr. Black.
Yes.
Mr. Sell.
Yes. Discussion and action on consensus agenda removal.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Is that Mr. Flack?
Yeah, President motion.
And Mr. Voorhees?
Yes.
Who's the second?
Did she second? She doesn't want to vote on this?
She's not gonna, she can still second.
Actually, Carl seconded it.
Right, we both second.
Okay, she can second it, either, sure, but yeah, you can go with Carl.
Okay. Mr. Flack.
Yes.
Mr. Huber.
Yes.
Mrs. Voorhees.
Yes.
Nope.
Abstain.
You have to-
That's right. Got one. Not everybody.
Mrs. Gingrich.
Aye.
Mr. Sell.
Yes. Under informational items, Dr. Schmizing?
If we could share those after the executive session, that would be a
Okay.
good plan.
I'll make a motion, we move to executive session for items G3 and G4.
Second that.
Mr. Huber?
Yes.
Mr. Self?
Yes.
Mr. Flack?
Yep.
Mrs. Voorhees?
Yes.
Mrs. Gingrich?
We are back in session, Celina Board of Education at 7:25 PM. Following an executive session that was called at 6:22. And at this time, we're ready for informational items, one to be discussed by Dr. Schmeezy.
I think everyone's aware the Ohio Department of Health, along with the governor, put out a new face covering policy for schools, for everyone at the school, students and staff alike. So I shared an update to what our face covering plan had been. Previously, it said student face coverings were recommended but not required. It was a family choice. Well, now with the state plan, there is a requirement for both students and staff members to wear face masks. That was found to be much more effective than face shields. So we will be putting out our face covering plan, the updated plan, if the board would vote to approve that. And this plan does include 10 different exemptions. So we would definitely like our parents and families, staff members, students to read over this so you do understand it. You would then be able to call and ask questions if you have questions. And the other part that goes hand in hand with this, if there are families who now decide to go to our online learning option, you have until this Friday, August 21st, to sign up for the online classes. With that deadline, it will help us to make the final preparations, the class schedules, the class list that need to be updated for the 2020-2021 school year.
Since the face covering plan is actually procedural, we would ask that a resolution be passed to that effect to adopt this particular face plan that came from not only the governor of the state of Ohio, but also in cooperation with the Mercer County Health Department. Is that correct, Dr. Schmidt?
That is correct.
I'll make a motion adopting the face covering plan. Could I have a second, please?
I'll second. I'd like to reiterate that we do have a few more exemptions than what the state has mandated, correct? Ken?
That is correct. After conversation with the Mercer County Health Director, we were able to put a couple more on there. Certainly, one of those is due to our non-air conditioned buildings. He stressed the importance of using common sense.
So we'd encourage all parents, students, anyone in the community that's interested, please look this up, find what the face covering plan is, and be aware of it's going to be in effect here very soon.
Where's this going to be posted on?
It'll be out on our Facebook sites. We will probably send out a link using our One Call Now message system as well. That also shares that deadline for online learning.
Okay, thank you, Dr.
Is there a way we can just post it on our website also, like a front page somewhere?
We will definitely work to do that, yes.
One thing, Dr. Penn, I don't know, I know you're not editing our website, but I've seen other districts have one page for all this kind of thing. And so whether you call it, 2021 news or something, but you can go to one page and it's got the distance learning plan, the face covering plan, the letters back, all the stuff that we've had approved that's not normal, but it's one place that the concern I have, if we only ever put things on Facebook, there's a lot of people that aren't on that platform. So if we could create some type of entity within the website, whatever we call it, I just think it'd be helpful that everything gets dumped there. Because frankly, this ain't the last thing that's gonna come from it. So it might be worth talking with our district tech team to create something there.
Okay.
We do have a motion and a second regarding the resolution. I do have a question following. Roll call, please. Mr. Summer?
Mr. Sell?
Yes.
Mr. Huber?
Yes.
Mrs. Voorhees?
Yes.
Mr. Flack?
Yes.
Mrs. Gingrich?
Aye.
Thank you. Any follow-up discussion? I have a quick question for Dr. Schmeezing. Any idea why the daily standard doesn't attend our meetings anymore?
I believe they lost a couple staff members.
It's important to have it in there too.
Yeah.
WCSO. Anyone else? Dr. Ken, Mr. Superintendent, approved. Thank you, we stand adjourned 7:31.